The Live Stream Code and Rating Administration has rated this online event PG. All ages admitted. Please be kind and stay on topic.
There's a really terrific show about to begin, so I hope you'll all stay tuned and watch.
Welcome to The Good Stuff Live. My name is Dave Sundstrom, and if you enjoy talking about music, movies, mostly TV from decades gone by, then you've come to the right place tonight. So welcome. I am so excited about tonight's live stream. Let's see who's here. Going into the comment section, I noticed that Lance Chaffin, Tom McCluskey, the Hungry Jerk, Tom Lemery, looks like they've been here for quite a while. Maximus Prime. Holy cow, welcome guys. And looks like Retro Nerd Girl was in there. The Notorious RNG was in the chat visiting. Shannon Burns is here. Kenneth Wilkinson, Mark Gerard, also known as Jerry Gillespie. Let's see. John McJunkin is here. Tracy Roth Myers. So good to have you with us, Tracy, one of my Patreon supporters, as well as Lance Chaffin, I believe, is one of the supporters over there on Patreon as well. Let's see. Tracy is talking about in the chat about this feller, and we ought to mention this. Robert Clary, 96 years old, passed away today. He played LeBeau on Hogan's Heroes. And here's the thing. Orthodox Jewish, he was raised in that home, was a concentration camp survivor. He was 31 months in a concentration camp. He was the only member of his family to survive that experience. First, his parents were gassed, and then siblings were murdered as well. He was a survivor, and him playing on Hogan's Heroes, I know a lot of folks, there's some folks that bristle a little bit at Hogan's Heroes, but for him it was a way of having, getting back a little bit at a terrible, horrible part of his life. But he was a true survivor. He married one of Eddie Cantor's daughters. And 96 years. An incredible legacy that he leaves behind. So I'm not reading the whole thread there. Just looking to see who's in there so far. But I think it is important to remember and celebrate the life of Robert Clary tonight. Truly a pioneer in television and all sorts of visual media. Okay, let's keep going. Gary Carpenter's here. Keith E's here. Karen Lee Maloney's here. I'm just not going. Do we have over 50 people in the chat? Danny Staten is here. Welcome. Emily Miller, welcome. And by the way, just put that back up on the screen for a minute. Thank you for tweeting that out, Emily. That's Emily's handle on Twitter, Witchy Woman. And she added me to her tweet so that I became aware of that earlier today. Truly appreciate that, Emily, and truly appreciate, all the things you do to share the good stuff. She frequently reposts, retweets my videos over there on Twitter, and I really do appreciate that. Let's see. John Doe is here. Wajamin is here. Kekame Army is here. Les Wadley's here. Bladestar 2. Dominic D. Superplex. Jason Goldtrap. Just a great crowd. Rob Aiken. I'm going as fast as I can. Still a couple minutes behind. Let me see if I can see any of their names. John H. Armand Galanosa. I think that is it. I think I mentioned Superplex, but I'll mention him one more time. What an incredible feller that guy is. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining tonight. I've got a special guest. So excited to bring her on and to visit with her. The topic we landed upon was Wonder Woman, the television series from the 70s. Obviously, a very popular TV show with this group, this community. As a matter of fact, I posted a poll over on the community channel, on the channel's community page, I should say, asking which live action Wonder Woman is your favorite. And I knew how this thing was going to end up, but I didn't know how decisively it would end up. The choices were Kathy Lee Crosby, who played Wonder Woman in one television movie, 1974, I believe. And then Lynda Carter, who played Wonder Woman in a series of TV movies beginning in 1975, and then the television series. And then Gal Gadot, who, hopefully I'm pronouncing that name right. It's either Gadot or Gadot. I'm not sure. Maybe the Retro Nerd Girl can help me out with that one when we bring her on. But it was decisively Lynda Carter for the win in terms of favorite live action Wonder Woman. Some folks saying, well, Zanshinko says, I cannot choose. Lynda's show had more of the superhero jump into action comic book quality, lots of fun. Gal has one of the best superhero movies to come out in the last 10 years. I don't disagree with that. I love that first Wonder Woman movie. Another comment, GW51 says, I like them all, Dave. It's like asking who's the best Spider-Man or Batman or Spock or even James Bond. It's all good, man. It's all good. Well, I can answer that question for you. Batman for the win. Let's see. Plum Pitiful said there was also Adrian Palicki in the failed 2011 Wonder Woman series pilot, which I have seen, by the way. And Linda Harrison, who was in a pilot way back in 1968, but only showed up in a mirror. So neither of those count because neither of them were broadcast on television or released as a feature film. But I totally get it, and I appreciate the deep cuts. And then lastly, Ravenscroft82 says there's only one Wonder Woman in my mind, and it'll always be the beauteous and iconic Ms. Carter. I love this. You can take a photo of the Mona Lisa, but you can't make that photo better than the subject. Well said. Well said. All right. Enough delay. Retro Nerd Girl, how are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Really, really good. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so excited to have you on the live stream with me tonight.
I am so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome. I am a big fan of your channel. I really enjoy your videos are what I actually aspire to. The depth of information that you put into each of those videos. And here's the deal. It's kind of like cooking almost. Anyone can slap together a video, just like any hack can, try to make something in the kitchen. But those that are most successful, there's an element of love that must be applied. It's the secret ingredient, and that is definitely a secret ingredient in your videos.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Yeah, I pretty much review only the movies that I really and truly love, so I can bring, various attributes out to others and share my love for movies with other people. So yeah, there is a lot of love involved in my videos.
So some comments that we're getting. One, Zuperplex says, Retro Nerd Girl is a thumbnail. It's a technology thing, right?
Yes.
And RRT 2001 says, hello. Lance Kaplan gives you a thumbs up. Let's see.
Thanks, Lance.
Other folks just saying hi. Let's see. Karen Lee, Gary, Bladestar 2. Someone said that you were one of their Oh, here we go. Secret Crisis, the Bronze Age of DC Comics is two of my favorites. Nicely.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
So I did want to talk a little bit about your channel, if we can, before we get rolling tonight on our Wonder Woman conversation. Do you care if I play a quick clip and then we'll talk a little bit about your channel?
Oh, by all means.
Okay, here's just I don't want to spoil any of your videos, so this is just the teeniest of tastes of what you will see when you go over and click on one of Retro Nerd Girl's videos. Here we go.
From the far reaches of the Milky Way galaxy, it's Retro Nerd Girl with a film review for you. Today, I'll be reviewing the movie Millennium, released in 1989. Today, I'll be reviewing the movie Planet of Vampires, released in 1965. Today, I'll be reviewing the movie Conan the Barbarian, released in 1982. Today, I'll be reviewing the movie The Last Starfighter, released in 1984.
So I got to ask you, and I listened to your video, or I didn't watch it. I actually listened to your Millennium video yesterday. What did you really think the first time you saw that movie?
I really liked it. It was, you know what? I was so in love with Cheryl Ladd, and she's the reason why I went to see the movie.
Me too.
Because I love all the Charlie's Angels. I love them all, and she was just, I just wanted to see her on screen, and so I don't think I really paid attention as much, but it was such an interesting storyline. Yeah. And it was so wacky, and I had to see it again. and so I did see it again in the theater, and to try to understand what was going on. And it's a trippy movie, but it's definitely a lot of fun.
It really is. So I went and saw it with a bunch of friends. That may have been my first mistake. Friends that really, they were there for mainstream entertainment. I apologize. I'm just about 10 miles away from an Air Force base, and they've decided to do a test run tonight. So you may hear some rumbling in the background there, folks, but that's the sound, as I'm reminded by my friends and family, the sounds of freedom there that we're hearing in the background. But anyway, I was going to say, we got done with the movie, and they were giggling and laughing and saying it was the stupidest thing they'd ever. And I must admit, and this is the shame of it all, is that I didn't have the guts, the courage at that moment to say, I really liked it. and I did.
It's hard to defend.
Well, go ahead.
It's a hard movie to defend, because it's so wacky, and there's a lot of stuff in it that's not. It's not a great production as far as having a lot of money to pull off some of the things that they're doing in there. But the storyline is there's a lot of good juicy information and just story plot points that just make you kind of think a little bit like, oh, this is really interesting and fascinating.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I went back, and I didn't go and see it again in the theater, but I did see it multiple times when it came out on VHS, and I rented it played it on my little VCR and enjoyed it again and again. Now, I do think, and I think you kind of alluded to this in your review there, because of production and a number of different things, there certainly were some opportunities for the movie to untapped opportunities for it to be a really amazing movie, whereas it was one of those where it's just kind of become a cult favorite, I think.
Yeah. And you know what? All the people who have talked to me about this movie, they said this is one of their favorite movies because it just is so unique.
Yeah. It really is. I should go back and read the book. In the video, you mentioned that I knew it had been based on a short story. I didn't realize that he'd gone ahead and turned it into a full-length novel.
Yeah.
All right. Quick question here from John McJunkin. He says, Dave, are you near the secret government base known as Grooms Lane Kids? No, I'm near Hill Air Force Base, which is located in Clearfield, Utah. Oh, all right, all right. Superplex says saw Enola Holmes 1 and 2. I enjoyed 1. I started 2. I haven't finished it, which says something. I need to go back and finish it, I guess. Let's do this. Let's talk about Wonder Woman. I do have a quick little like intro video, and then let's talk a bit about it. Hang on one second. In 1975, Lynda Carter was cast as the iconic DC Comics character Wonder Woman. The show ran for 1 season on ABC before switching networks and moving to CBS for a couple of more seasons. The ABC series was set in the 40s, while the CBS version was a modern-day retelling. Always a fan favorite at comic conventions, Lynda became even more popular with that particular audience when she signed on in 2016 to play the role of the President of the United States, Olivia Marsden, on the CW's Supergirl series. Carter is also a big fan of Gal Gadot's portrayal of Wonder Woman and has worked with her to promote causes that she is passionate about. The two recently visited the United Nations together to further women's rights and attend a ceremony celebrating Wonder Woman Day. Carter has said that she thinks Gal is, and this is a quote, amazing. There we go, we're back. All right, enough stalling. Let's talk about Wonder Woman. I asked you when I invited you on, I said, what should we talk about? And you brought up Wonder Woman, which I was totally on board about because it was one of my favorite TV shows during the 70s. But maybe you can share a memory or two and kind of share with us why that was your choice tonight and a favorite of yours.
Yeah, I think I was really, really young when I started watching the show. When it came out, I was about 5 or 6. And it was just so amazing to see this beautiful woman and with all smiles, with a American flag outfit on, and she was a superhero. And I don't know, there was something about her abilities that was sort of like, I wish I could do that thing. I wish I could lift a car, and I wish I could do these miraculous feats that she was able to do. And there was just something about Lynda Carter herself that she seemed to carry the responsibility of being Wonder Woman in her, and sort of in her personal life too. So she was definitely someone I looked up to, and I thought was just incredible. And as far as memories go, I can remember so many times when it was like playtime, and I would just spin around and spin around and spin around and hoping to turn into Wonder Woman. And I would stop, and I'd be so dizzy, and I'd just fall on the couch. And it was just like, it was a fun memory that I have, just being hopeful and wishing like, I wish I could be just like that.
Yeah, obviously being a guy, I didn't do the spinning around thing, but I enjoyed the spinning around thing, watching it. And speaking of that, I do have a super chat that has come in from a longtime community member, John Collins. I think he means to say, hello, everyone. I love everything involving Wonder Woman, the live-action TV show, and the 2 live-action films in more recent history. I have to say the 2 films are much more eye-catching. Well, indeed they are. But you know what? They're different, and Gal is a different Wonder Woman. By the way, is it Gadot or Gadot? Do you know?
Gadot. Gadot. Yes. Gadot.
Gadot. We'll go with Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
But definitely different. But I'm with you. There's just something so empowering about Lynda Carter and the way she played that character. There was a nobleness and a kindness. She encompassed everything that I thought Wonder Woman was. She just did such a wonderful job. And I'd watched with bated breath. I was so excited for the Wonder Woman TV movie that debuted a year earlier with Kathy Lee Crosby. And that was not it. No, I'm not. It's nothing against Kathy Lee Crosby or Ricardo Montalban, who was the bad guy in that particular movie, or I don't even remember the guy's name who played Steve Trevor, but the casting wasn't right, and they just didn't have the true spirit of Wonder Woman in that movie. And yet a year later, the casting was perfect, and Lynda so embodied everything.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
actually just
go ahead.
skipped that one. I didn't watch that one yet, but I will one day.
You
But
should, just
yeah.
because it's so darn different. There was a period of time with DC Comics in the early 70s where they actually trying to take advantage of kind of the whole feminist movement thing. They took Wonder
Mhm.
Woman out of her uh, traditional outfit and put her in a more
Oh yeah.
the
I remember
different
that.
clothing, more Emma Pill kind of style wardrobe, like the
Yeah.
Avengers, and that was definitely what that movie was more like than
Mhm.
what we're all used to as Wonder Woman. Hey, gotta say thank you to John Collins. And speaking of the twirly thing, I can think of no better way to say thank you to Mr. Collins for the generous, supportive super chat than this one. Thank you, John. And
Oh, that is so cool.
yeah, it's what's cool is the support that I get from this community. They're just so wonderful, and you got a little bit of a taste of it even before the live stream started tonight. Just people
Oh
hanging
yeah.
out, enjoying each other's company, and that's one of the things I love doing. I don't enjoy watching me again, but I do love going back and watching the live stream again, because what I'll do is I'll focus on the chat and the conversation that's going on there,
Mhm.
because there's so much that's being said. I just can't keep track of it now. And
Yeah.
it's just such a great community. Gary Carpenter says, Dave, those spins made me happy. I guarantee you weren't the only one, Gary. You weren't the only one. So were you a Wonder Woman comic book fan, or was it the TV show
Yes.
that really brought you on board?
Well, I became a Wonder Woman comic book fan later on. But when you're 5, you just watch everything that's on TV. And so that was Bionic, the Bionic Woman. It
Oh
was
yeah.
$6 Million Man, who I at one point I thought I was sick. I was him, because I would just run around my home just doing that, slow motion running. And my mom will be like, "What are you doing?"
Did you make the noises too? I would always do.
You have to make the noises.
Absolutely. And if
Yeah.
I wasn't making the noise, I was actually doing the theme music. And I do it out loud. I'd run.
Yes. Yes.
Do, do, do,
Yes.
do.
Absolutely.
It was genius that they thought of slow motion as a way to emphasize the bionic speed
Oh
and
yeah.
powers. I mean, they didn't have to
Sound
spend
effects.
anything on the budget, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, the sound effects too were just so perfect. And they do a bit of sound effects too in Wonder Woman, the TV show. Just a few little, sound effects that kind of cue you into
Right.
something different here. This isn't, average people can't do this.
There was a springy sound. I don't know if you remember, but when she would jump, it would be like this springy sound.
Oh
It
yeah.
wasn't quite like the bionic sound, but it was
No.
close.
Yeah, it was just enough for you to be like, okay, that she's using her special powers now. And there was, I'm not sure if they kept it up all season, but her rope, in the first, uh I guess, longer um episode, she wraps it around one of the bad guys, and it makes like a doodaloo doodaloo sound. It was so that's so cool because it's magical.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And speaking of another thing that's great on that show was one of the things that I truly miss nowadays. And I don't watch a lot of television, but I do. I still sit down with my wife, and there's a handful of shows we watch. And one of the things I really miss is that 30 to 60-second intro every week with a theme song.
Oh
We would.
yeah.
It was so special back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Every show had this theme song. And the Wonder Woman theme song was absolutely like one of the top 5 ever.
Oh, yeah, iconic. I don't know how many times I'll just be doing something weird and start singing Wonder Woman. I'm just like out of nowhere, like where did that come from? And it just had so much energy, and it just made you so excited to see the episode in the beginning, and as well the comic book animation in the beginning of the
Right.
episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, they were, and that's when as a kid you see this comic book sort of animation, and then a real person comes out of that, and it was just like, wow, how did they do that?
Yeah. Yeah. It was so
And
cool and so well done.
oh yeah.
So go ahead.
Oh no, I said those are just a few of the things that made this show in particular very special.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about Super Friends. How were your Saturday mornings broken up? Did you watch Super Friends with Wonder Woman, or were there other things on Saturdays that really, really liked?
I think I was obsessed with something else on Saturdays. But I did like Thundara or something. Again,
Thundar,
yeah, Thunder, and a few other things, but I did catch a few of the Justice League, Super Friends, but I wasn't, married to it. I was. There were other things I was probably more obsessed with.
Totally get that. Totally get that. Super Friends for me was my, even before the Wonder Woman live action TV show came out, there was Wonder Woman was part of the Super Friends on Saturday mornings. And so that was equally exciting for me. But I think, truthfully, I don't think there's been, and I don't want to take anything away from Gal, but I just don't think there has been a Wonder Woman as incredible as Lynda Carter. And you've seen both of the movies, right? The Gal Gadot movies, correct?
No, I actually haven't.
Okay, then I can't spoil it. I can't.
But no.
I
know. I pretty much know every aspect of those 2 movies.
Okay, then you know that Lynda Carter makes an end credit scene, and it looks like the plans is to have her as a more prominent figure in the 3rd one, which is, I think, still 2-3 years out, but excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, there's something so special about Lynda Carter. I don't see any problem with her coming back as Wonder Woman in the modern day. She's fantastic.
Yeah. I think she will play a different character, but still being an Amazonian princess of some sort, one of the Amazons. Question for you around, let me see. Let me quickly just say hello to a couple of folks that I want to make sure I say hi to. BK on the air, my friend Barry King is here with us this evening. Hey, Barry, I still haven't heard your review. I need to go back and listen to your broadcast where you do the review of Wakanda Forever, but that's on my list to go see this week. So excited for that. And Pat McCormick is here. He has a YouTube channel called The Golden Rage of TV, has a great podcast. He says, my podcast net guest next week is talks about the gig of voicing Firestar. So he's talking about, oh my goodness, Kathy, what is her name? Help me out, Pat. Share with me her name in the chat. She was Sissy on Family Affair. Kathy, I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, that's going to be awesome. And Pat just has an amazing podcast / YouTube channel. Question for you. early episodes with the 1940s Wonder Woman or modern day Wonder Woman? Which one was your preference?
My preference was definitely the first season set in the 40s, uh, because I don't know, lost a little something when it came to the modern day. Even though they included, all the things that kids like computers and, you know, more wacky stories and karate and it was they did like they
Aliens,
yes,
roller
aliens.
disco. I
They
mean, they
did it
had it
all.
all.
Yeah, they did it all. But that first season they did have quite a few. They had aliens in the first season as well, and a gorilla. Um, but what I really liked about all of them, it seems like uh, the way Lynda Carter played her part as Prince, uh, uh, as Diana Prince, and also Wonder Woman, was like she played it all very straight, even though some of the storylines were really wacky. And she also played it like a detective sometimes, like she was, trying to discover, what the truth was behind what was going on. And I love that aspect of those shows, even the wackier ones, because she's trying to find out something. You kind of go on this journey with her, like, okay, what's really going on here? And it keeps your interest going. So I don't know. There is something about the way she was able to play that like a detective that was very interesting to me.
Yeah, yeah. I really feel like that first season was just so much more faithful to the comic books,
Oh
particularly,
yeah.
since Wonder Woman, those original comics were produced during the 40s and had that war theme to them. This was
Yes.
just so much more faithful. And the other thing that I really had, they moved to CBS, and it didn't bother me that the outfit was more revealing. I was a teenage boy, so I was okay with that. But and I didn't mind some of the plots, but one piece that was truly missing was you had not Steve Trevor, but Steve Trevor
Yes.
Jr. And they couldn't play up the romantic angle of Diana
Yes.
Prince, Wonder Woman, and Steve Trevor, because it would just be weird for her to
Yes. I mean,
have a
you just
yeah.
hit the nail right on the head, because that was the missing ingredient. That I don't want to call it like that romantic tension that they had in the first season,
Yeah.
where they were kind of like flirting with each other, and it was kind of a joke, like, where am I gonna, Steve was really into Wonder Woman quite a lot more than he was into, Diana.
Yeah.
And so, but at the same time, there was this building trust and relationship that was going on between them. And even by like the end of the season, he just needed her for so much. He just wanted her with him almost all the time. So it just shows you, like, that relationship suffered so
It
much
did.
in season 2 and 3.
Yeah, it definitely did, and they just couldn't. It would have been too odd, too strange, and I also heard that off screen, Lyndon and Lyle didn't. It's not that they hated each other or anything, but they weren't against the idea that there wasn't the romantic
Yeah,
subplot
yeah,
in
I
the
heard that too.
subsequent seasons. Yeah. Some folks are getting after me for not recognizing super chats. Let me quickly, I've starred them, but I didn't want to. We just had such great conversation. I didn't want to kind of break for the super chats. But Lance Chaffin says, "Thank you, Dave, for all you do for us." Thank you, Lance. I truly appreciate all of your support. Let me see what I got here. A little Archie Bunker for you, my friend. And then John Collins was actually correcting. I said that he was using the term love, but he actually did mean that he owns the 2 live action television series. So both, he's talking about the first season when it was on ABC, and then the second and third years when it was on CBS, and as well as the Blu-ray DVDs of the 2 recent movies. I gotta warn you, that second Wonder Woman movie, it's just disappointing.
I heard.
I'm hoping for better things with the third. John Collins did drop another super chat. He says, Dave, can you ask your pleasant guest, hey, pleasant guest, if she enjoyed Knight Rider as well, given that it had special abilities and was somewhat sci-fi-ish?
Absolutely. I loved Knight Rider. That was one of my favorites. I loved Michael Knight and Kit, and it was just good. That is the good stuff.
That really is. It really is so darn good. Second greatest car of all time. The Batmobile will always be first in my heart, but Kit, love Kit, and just that whole Knight Rider TV series was so great.
And then the Dukes of Hazzard car, third, maybe.
Yeah, that's a toss-up between the Gran Torino with Starsky and Hutch and the General Lee with the Dukes of Hazzard. I like the Munster Mobile, but it's not as cool as those two. I'm trying to think if there's a third. If I were to rank them out, it would be Batmobile, Knight, Kit, and then I don't know. It just would probably depend on the day which one would be my favorite. How about you? Do you have a favorite car?
Well, I guess the Batmobile would have to be the favorite. I mean, it's got all the bells and whistles. But if it all-time car, just in general, it would be Christine.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. She's a beauty.
Stephen King stuff here.
Oh yeah.
Are you a Stephen King fan?
I am an admirer, but not
Yeah.
I can't name all of his
I can't either. And he's such a prolific writer. I mean, but I was during my junior high and high school years, I was an avid reader. There's one in particular, a novel, which is a collection of short stories called Different Seasons. It has The Body in it, which is what became Stand By Me. He's such a wonderful writer. He is really a wonderful writer. As with any writer, some of his works are better than others, but just an amazing, amazing author.
Yeah, incredible creativity.
Yeah. I need to give John a little love for his super chat. Thanks again, John. That's super nice. I tend to do this a lot with John just because this is so true about him and, well, quite frankly, all of the community. But John in particular, I always think about this. And I'm so glad you're feeling better, by the way, my friend.
You are special.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you. Hopefully I haven't missed anybody else's super chats. If I did, get after me and let me know, and I'll try to find it. Lots of things going on in the chat. Yes, for sure. Thrash Pondo Pons is in the house, by the way. He does live streams as well. He's a fun guy. Good to have Robert with us tonight. Let's see. Santa Claus North Pole Canada is here with us as well. You know what? This is a first. I've never had Kris Kringle with us. It's so cool. Wow.
And I love Christmas.
Yeah, me too. It's my absolute favorite time of the year. From Thanksgiving on, it's just, I love this time of the year. So Santa, thanks for joining us tonight. Super awesome.
Thanks for joining us, Santa.
Barry King says that the notorious RNG is a great guest.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
So I got questions for you. Okay. I'm gonna ask Retro Nerd Girl some questions. It's a section of a segment, better said, of the live stream that I like to call a few of my favorite things. Not my favorite things, but Retro Nerd Girl's favorite things. So I'm going to ask her some questions. But in the meantime, folks, if you have questions for Retro Nerd Girl, go ahead and put them in the chat. Maybe put like a couple question marks or something so that I can tell it's a question for her. And I'll try to star those as we're talking, and then I'll ask her those after I get done with my 5 questions. Are you ready for Action Retro Nerd Girl?
Absolutely.
All right. First question. What is your favorite, absolute favorite nostalgic television show and why?
Okay. It is Battlestar Galactica from the 1970s, of course, because
Of course.
because I loved Star Wars, and even though people make fun of it as a Star Wars ripoff, I thought it was fantastic. I loved the fun tone of it. It was jovial, but it was serious too. So it had a mixture of both, of both sensibilities. And my favorite was on the show were the two boys, Apollo and Starbucks, and Starbuck, and the way they would just kind of have this rapport with each other, and all of the adventures that they had. Love that show. Whenever it came on, I was glued to the television. So I will never forget how awesome Battlestar Galactica was for me.
It was so epic too, when
Yes.
just the narration and everything about it. I absolutely
The
loved it.
Cylons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as much as Star Wars for me.
Yeah.
Now, time hasn't been as kind to Battlestar Galactica, even
Yeah.
with the reboot, as Star Wars. Star Wars just gets all this love, and because it's a Disney product now, it's all over the place. But I love Battlestar Galactica. Now, I do have a bone to pick with particularly that first episode, or the movie, however you look at it, which is you can't kill Rick Springfield. I'm sorry. You cannot kill Rick Springfield and think that I'm not going to hold it against him.
Yeah, that was a bad move, but
that was totally a
they
bad
made
move.
up for it with the alien, all the aliens that they had on the show. Very, very fun show.
Yeah, loved it. Okay, do you have a favorite actor / actress? I could just say actor. These days you can just say actor and it means both genders. Favorite actor from a retro TV show?
I'm gonna pick Joan Collins.
Oh wow!
Because,
okay.
Yeah, because there was just something about Joan Collins, the way she carried herself in the 80s, but also, you know what? There's not a lot, but a few movies, earlier in her career where she's just dynamic. There's something about what she's capable of doing on screen. So it translated very good in, when she was on Dynasty. And my mom and I, we just loved everything that happened on the show. And so we would tune in every week to watch what was going to happen between her and Crystal. I forgot who played the
Lynda Evans.
Lynda Evans, yes. And Lynda Evans with that epic hair. So it was a big deal. So she really stands out as an actress to me.
I loved her too. I didn't watch a ton of Dynasty, but I caught some of those early movies. There's one movie where she plays a character named Audley, and it's a time travel movie, and I need to find it again because I haven't seen it for 25, 30 years, and I want to see it again just because it was so good. And she had such an interesting name in it. But I also loved her, of course, as Gary Carpenter points out, she was the siren in the Batman 66 television series. She was awesome. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Looks like Pat McCormick's leaving to go make dinner for his wife. That's the right thing to do, Pat. If you have to choose between chatting in a live stream or making dinner for your wife, always make dinner for the person you love. Number 3. Was there a particular TV program that brought the whole family together when you were younger?
I think it was, back to Dynasty. That was a good one. That did just that. It, my mom and I, we'd always talk a lot together. She spent a lot of time talking to me a lot when I was younger. So we had a great conversation. We were able to talk a lot about stuff that I don't think a lot of parents get to talk to their kids about. And so my mom and I, we just jumped for joy for that TV show, because it was it was like a dramatization of the lifestyle of the rich and famous. It's sort of like uh, a window into a world we had no idea about, and it looked so dramatic and fun and glamorous, and we really bonded over that.
That's awesome. You know what? I think television, one of the powerful things that it can do is be a springboard for that kind of thing, for connecting with family members. I have some tremendous memories as well of watching particular shows with both my father and my mother, different times. And I remember arguing over TV shows with my siblings, but they're all great memories now. Even the arguments. And that's awesome that's one of the memories you have with Dynasty.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's see. I'm trying to star all the questions that are coming up for you while I work through mine. Most vivid television memory?
And I try to think about this. Let me see. It's not really like a show or anything, but it's sort of like a time in my life when we didn't have a lot. So we were like the last people to get cable. So when we finally did get cable, it was like, it was awesome. And so I was able to finally watch MTV, which everybody else had. And, watching the first music videos play on MTV was sort of like, we have arrived moment. And yeah, that's kind of like a big moment for, for me and my family.
Yeah, I have similar memories. As a matter of fact, I had to pay for cable in our home because
Oh, wow.
as a senior, I finally had a job just a little part-time job, and the old man said, "You don't pay for TV." He was drawing a hard line on me. You do not TV free kind of thing. But I wanted the MTV. It was all about the MTV. I could care less about any other channel. Just wanted the MTV. So that's
MTV
funny that's your memory.
Hey,
Yeah, it was amazing. It's just changed our worlds with the MTV. It really did.
Yeah.
When you're not watching nostalgic television or great movies that you review, or recording something for your YouTube channel or any of your other amazing channels, what do you enjoy doing most?
I actually have I like collecting 1/6 scale items, which are like mini items that are more closer to like a Barbie scale. I also collect some Barbies and Ken dolls because I'm making like a small movie.
Oh, wow.
So I'm trying to put them all together to kind of piece together a little project. Well, we'll see, but it's fun.
Very cool.
Barbies.
That is awesome. As you can see, I have no shortage of knickknacks and things in the background as well. Not that many action figures. I don't call them dolls or Barbies. They're action figures if I own them.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me go back here and see what questions we had for you while I was throwing my questions at you. Favorite movie of all time, Superplex wants to know.
Okay. Favorite movie of all time is definitely Terminator 1984.
Okay. Great movie.
Yep.
Loved it when I'm sure you saw it in the theater, as did I.
Oh
Love
yeah,
that flick.
great stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
That movie. I have a lot of great memories of it, but also just remembering the shock of seeing it for the first time and absorbing all of the entire storyline. And I can watch that movie today and still feel like concerned for the characters.
Yeah.
I
Sarah
can
Connor.
still feel,
Yeah, totally. Okay,
yeah.
we're gonna go down to sub-segment of movies. Favorite Christmas movie? The Superplex one again wants to know.
Oh, Zorvaplex. That's a hard one. Okay. Um It's a Wonderful Life. It's a classic.
It is a classic.
Can't go wrong with that one. There are quite a few. I mean, I love Christmas movies in general, but yeah, that has to be my favorite.
Yeah,
It's yeah, I think that's it.
that one's a. I don't think anyone can argue with you about the merits, the wonderfulness of that film, the entire
Oh,
cast,
yeah,
Jimmy Stewart, Donna Reed, Frank
yeah.
Capra's direction. It's a little, you know what? I watched it as a kid, and then I watched it probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago again was the last time I watched it, and it struck me that it could, if I were editing it, I could trim it down and make it a little shorter and not lose a
Yeah.
single thing. But the pacing, I get so used to the modern pacing of films that you go
Yes.
back and watch those movies and you go, whoa. But it
Yeah.
is wonderful. I do love it, and I love the message in that movie
Yeah.
tremendously.
The messages. It gets me every time. I
Yeah.
cry. Uh, Almost on cue every single time I watch that, and it's a beautiful cry because it's like you feel grateful for what you have and grateful to be alive, and sometimes just like think of myself like people that I know that that I'm happy to know, and people that I'm happy to help in life. So it it's one of those things you can ponder and always ponder good thoughts with.
Yeah. Emily Miller says older Christmas movies were better than the newer ones. Now they ask wannabe romantic chick flicks. Well, it seems like all of the new ones are kind of like these hallmarky
Yeah.
romantic chick flicks that I won't lie, I've watched a handful already this year, but but but
I'm addicted to them. I'm sorry.
yeah. Thank heaven for the Hallmark Channel. It's just, you know what, those are shows you can just turn on. You don't even have to pay attention to. You just kind of they
Yeah,
just play in the periphery.
yeah, and I kind of like them because they are wholesome and it's
Yeah,
kind of they're harmless. They don't mean any harm by anything. Uh,
mostly
and
harmless. Yeah, I like
yeah.
that. What about, where does Christmas Story land in your
Ooh, yeah, it's top, top 10 maybe.
okay, there
Uh
you go.
it's another classic. I've got to see it every year. Home Alone, another
Yeah.
classic, you know.
And I
Um,
gotta ask, just because I gotta ask, Die Hard, do you consider that a Christmas movie or not?
it is it is a Christmas movie. It's really it does speak about, triumph over hardships, and so there can be some sort of lesson learned from the story.
Yeah, yeah. So here's a question for you from Herman Vasquez. He asks, what did you think of the two-part episode Judgment from Outer Space? Do you know what he's talking about there? Because I don't
Yeah,
remember that.
that's so in the first season.
Is this Battlestar Galactica?
Oh no, of Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, okay.
Yeah, the first season they did, I think, two storylines that were two episodes, and one of them was of aliens, um, and I can't remember all the details to this, but it ends in an ultimatum, um, that as long as Wonder Woman is on planet Earth, that Earth is safe from
Is that the one with
attack.
who was the alien? Was it, I want to say it almost had a day the Earth stood still feel to it a little bit.
Exactly. Yes, it did. And then the oddest part was that he invited her to go into space with him, and she said no.
I remember that. Okay, I'm glad you remember this better than I do because it wasn't ringing a bell until you started talking about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and what is really funny is that if she would have went to space with him, then Wonder Woman wouldn't be on Earth anymore, and they would attack. So I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't know if it was a trick, but the same alien. Well, the alien's son, I think, comes back in season 2 or 3. If I'm not mistaken. In the
Younger
modern,
son, right? Younger,
yes,
better looking son.
younger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. That's all. That's CBS. That was the whole. Let's try to attract the younger audience here with this.
CBS.
Yeah. CBS. What were you thinking, Steve Trevor Jr.? Come on. John Collins says, "I have a question for her because I'm sure we all wish this. If she could meet Fred Rogers, what would she have asked him or talked to him about?" That's a tough one.
Yeah. Well, that's a tough one. John, that's a tough question. I'm not sure. I would ask him how his day is going.
I'd ask him if he ever got mad. Do you ever get mad? Do you ever lose your temper?
Yeah. I mean, because I don't know. I always thought of him as a sweet guy, so that would be a good question to ask him.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
you got to think, right? He's a normal. I mean, I did watch I don't know, did you see the movie with Tom Hanks as Fred Rogers?
No, I didn't catch that one. But I do know, that he had a military background and that he was very kind and had a mission to do his show. And so I don't know, I would ask him about, I'd probably ask him about some other things that he wanted to impress upon the young children, coming up in the 70s and 80s. That would probably be my question. Like, what besides what he's doing, what else does he think it would be great to teach young children?
Right, where those opportunities are still now.
Yeah.
Superplex, this was before you started talking about your hobby, asked, did Retro Nerd Girl ever have a Barbie doll?
Yeah.
Sounds like you have a few.
Yeah, well, I didn't grow up with them, which is really interesting. So I do have quite a few now, but it's only for it's mainly for my project that I'm creating. But it's kind of cute to like play with them sometimes and put on clothes and pretend they're you.
Love it. Emily Miller points out, speaking of Rick Springfield, that he played Lucifer on Supernatural. That was kind of cool. I really need to go back. Emily's been telling me all about Supernatural, and there was even a Scooby-Doo crossover, so I've got to go back and watch this show. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's a mega show. I've got to check it out too.
Yeah, so much TV and so little time, right?
Yes.
Pat McCormick says, I enjoyed this very much, Retro Nerd Girl. I will subscribe to you. Off to cook dinner, folks. Love you all. Bye.
Oh, thank you. Have fun at dinner.
Yeah. Superplex wants to know what your favorite comedian is.
Favorite comedian. It's a hard one because he's not really a comedian, but I guess he is a comedian. I like Will Sasso a lot. He's more of an actor than a comedian. But I like Will Sasso.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And let's see, trying to race through these so we can get to everything I wanted to get to tonight. What show did you enjoy most, Retro Nerd Girl? Was it Family Ties, Cheers, or Night Court?
It was definitely Family Ties. The teenage hormones demanded it. They were like,
I love Family Ties too. I think it had a little something for everyone there. What a great show that was.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Thrash Pondo wanted to let us know he's like I said, he has his own live stream. He raced home. He had work tonight. He has to work on Wednesdays, but he raced home. I probably risked speeding tickets just to be here to watch this. So thanks for joining us, Thrash. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Thrash Pondo Bonds.
Yes. Okay. So let me see. Let me scroll through, see if I missed any additional questions while I was reading those to you. So much. Dave Claroni's here. Ian Carlin is here. Ian C., good to have you with us. I think we are good. So let's do this. Let me take care of, you got to pay the bills when you do these live streams. So I've got some sponsors, I've got some sponsor messages. When we get back from the sponsored messages, I'm going to be giving away a copy of the January 2023 issue of Retro Fan magazine. You can look. This is what an incredible magazine this is. It's got Wesley Ure from Land of Lost, Angela Cartwright and Bill Mumy from Lost in Space. It's got an interview revisiting Mayfield with Jerry Mathers and Tony Dow, who's now passed on. Something on Underdog. I love this magazine. This magazine. There's a couple I love. I love Remind magazine, and it covers things more broadly, but this magazine takes a deep dive into topics, and it's just these guys, there's a lot of love that they put into this magazine. So we'll give away a copy of that after the commercials, and we'll do the drawing. And then if you want to stick around, Retro Nerd Girl, and test out your Wonder Woman trivia skills, we'll work through about 10 questions.
Okay.
All right. Be right back, folks. Let me go right here. Yes, let's pay the bills.
And now, these messages.
Look who's turning Diet 7-Up. I guess you have to give up a lot to fit into your costume, huh, Linda?
I don't have to give up anything, Don. Remember, I'm a star. Besides, any diet drink can help me fit into my costume.
Then why the Diet 7-Up, sweetie?
Because it's crisp, it's light, it doesn't have that funny diet taste. Why are you drinking it, Don?
Oh, I like the taste, too.
That's impossible.
Why is that?
Because you don't have any taste, Donnie, dear.
You're a beauty. Ooh, a dandy.
A man bent on revenge threatens the powers of Wonder Woman.
You killed my brother.
And this man's on the loose with this awesome power.
Next, a hunter finds prize game on Logan's Run.
He stalked and killed every kind of animal.
You'll be my ultimate challenge.
Then on Switch, a driver's death forces Pete and Mac into a deadly race.
You're either going to have to drive that car or blow your cover.
If he gets too close, you kill him.
It's a super evening of excitement and drama. The new adventures of Wonder Woman, Logan's Run, and Switch. Friday beginning at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't. Almond Joy's got real milk chocolate, coconut and munchy nuts too. Mounds got deep dark chocolate and chewy coconut. Ooh. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Peter Paul, Almond Joy's got nuts, Peter Paul, Mounds don't. Because sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
All right, we want to go. We don't want to do that yet. We want to do this first. All right, folks, I need you to type in hashtag RetroFan. By the way, I just saw Music Girl 67 arrive. She says, hi, everybody, hoping that everyone's doing well and that you're all having a wonderful Wishbone Wednesday. That reminds me, let me see if I have that here. She sent me a picture not too long ago. She was a prior winner And there she is with her copy of Retro Fan magazine that arrived in her mailbox. So thanks for sharing that, Music Girl 67. Hashtag RetroFan. Let's put a 30-second timer on the screen here, and then I will push the draw button when the 30 seconds are over. Let's see what else is going on here in the chat, besides a lot of... Let's see. Tom Lemery says, Dave, there's a YouTube clip that may answer your question about Fred Rogers getting mad. It's from Aldo for Tour 220. I'll have to check that out. Definitely check it out. And Fred Smithberg points out that, the girl in Heather Menzies was one of the Von Trapp kids, and she was in Logan's Run. We'll take the timer off the screen here. Get there. There we go. And let me go ahead. Only 16 people interested in the magazine. I will pause for 5 seconds for dramatic effect. For anyone to get one last entry in there if you want to. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and hit the button. Let's see who our winner is tonight. Emily Morgan. We're back. Looks like I had a bit of an internet issue there for a second, but Emily's our winner. Congratulations, Emily. So awesome. I think I have your address, but if you wouldn't mind sending it to me again, I would appreciate that. And, of course, you can send the deets to me at jdsundstrom@yahoo.com. I'm only going to leave that on the screen for a second there, but if you need to, of course, you can always go back and replay the live stream to get it. But congratulations, Emily. So awesome. Well done.
Congratulations, Emily.
Yes, well done. Now let me go ahead and take that off the screen and move right in to the most important part of the evening, the Wonder Woman trivia. Very excited for this. All right, and I'll give you first dibs. But if you don't know it, don't feel bad. Of course, Retro Nerd Girl.
Okay.
What I typically do is I give everybody about 30 seconds to answer the question before we take a stab at it, and then they sometimes put the answers in the chat, right or wrong. Sometimes they just lock them in their noggin. But let's go ahead and move on to question number 1. Here we go. What is Wonder Woman's true identity on the show? Is it Ariana Grande, Barbara Gordon, Diana Prince, or Lynda Carter? I'll go ahead and put 30 seconds on the clock. And again, Wonder Woman's true identity on the show is her real name. Ariana Grande, Barbara Gordon, Diana Prince, or Lynda Carter? Are you willing to take a stab at this one, Retro Nerd Girl?
Oh, yeah. Diana Prince.
Let's see how you did. Correct. Ding, 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 ding. Nicely done. A couple of them are pretty easy. That one was an easier one, I think. This one's a little more difficult. Which teen heartthrob appeared on the program? By the way, Rick Springfield appeared on the program. I don't know if you remember that episode, but he's not one of your choices. So which teen heartthrob appeared on Wonder Woman? Was it David Cassidy, Donny Osmond? And again, don't answer right away. We'll give folks a minute to kind of think through this. David Cassidy, Donny Osmond, Leif Garrett. Notice I didn't say Leif. Leif Garrett, and Sean Cassidy. 30 seconds on the clock. Did you have a favorite teen heartthrob back in the day?
I think it was Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe. Okay.
Yeah, I really
And favorite Rob Lowe movie? Did you have a favorite Rob Lowe movie then?
No, I just liked him.
I liked him in St. Elmo's Fire. I was the Brat Pack kind
Yeah.
of, that whole thing. He was great in that. Okay, what do you think? Do you have an answer for us on this one, Retro Nerd Girl?
Leif Garrett or Leif Garrett.
Leif Garrett, correct. Before he lost all his hair and started looking more like me than a teen heartthrob. Oh, it's just sad when teen heartthrobs lose their hair. Just sad. Question number 3. And then after the third question, I'm going to ask everybody, see how they're doing. We'll get some scores. Which 2 networks did the show appear on? Again, we'll give folks about 30 seconds before. I'm pretty positive you know the answer to this one. And quite frankly,
God, no.
what we've been talking about it all night. It's one of those things you hear, but you don't hear over and over. But here's the weird things that in life, these are the things that stick with me. Like really important things that I need to remember to pass tests, they don't stick with me. These are the things that they get stuck in my noggin. Useless pieces of trivia. You want to give a guess?
I'm gonna say the first one. ABC and CBS.
You are correct. So, well done.
Yes.
Well done. I mean, we could eliminate the last one. There was no Fox back in the day. But
yeah.
Otherwise, it's kind of tricky. All right, folks, let's see. What kind of scores do we have so far? We got people telling me it's easy. Good. I'm glad it's easy. That means you're knowledgeable. You're well-versed in Wonder Woman. Superplex is 3 for 3. Shannon Burns is 3 for 3. Wajameen's 3 for 3. Yes, Music Girl. I did have long hair when I was in my late teens and early 20s. Of course, I went and served an LDS mission for a couple of years, so I had to cut it at that point, and quite frankly, it never grew back. Shannon Burns 3 for 3. Wajameen 3 for 3. Fred Smithberg 2 for 3. Gary Carpenter 3 for 3. You guys are rocking it tonight. Still only 35 cents is easy. John Collins 2 for 3. Dolph Quick 3 for 3. Al Wardy 3 for 3. Tim 2 for 3. Fox started, I think, was it 85? I think it might have been a couple of years after that, like 87. Thrash Panda was 3 for 3. Herman is 3 for 3. Armand is 2 for 3. Tom McCluskey 3 of 3. Tom Lemery 3 of 3. Emily Miller 3 of 3. Music Girl 67 3 of 3. Kenneth Wilkinson 2 of 3. And Keith Risk a little bit off his game tonight, but that's okay. He's still playing, and that's what's important. 1 for 3. All right, let's keep moving. Question number 4. Which Academy Award Academy Award nominated actress appeared on the show? And let me throw a timer on here as I read the names. Was it Debbie Gibson, Debbie Reynolds, Deborah Klinger, or Deborah Winger? Again, the Academy Award nominated actress. Award-winning. She wasn't award-winning. She just wasn't. She was only nominated for an Academy Award. Was it Debbie Gibson? I think she does go by Deborah now. Deborah Gibson, Debbie Reynolds, mother of Carrie Fisher, Deborah Klinger, or Deborah Winger? You want to give this one a guess, Retro Nerd Girl?
Deborah Winger.
Correct. Playing Drusilla, who was kind of like a version of Wonder Girl on the show. And it was mostly first season, if I remember right. And I think she was invited back, and she didn't want to go back because she'd become a fancy pants actress by that time.
Yeah.
Fancy pants actress. How did Wonder Woman change into her costume, people? Was it discreetly in a room? In a phone booth? Did she slide down the Wonder Pool? Or did she twirl around? This is the equivalent of your free space on trivia. You know, it's like the free space in bingo in the center there. You get one for free. This is the totally for free one. Folks, if you miss this one, I'm not going to shame you. I mean, you can be off your game, but I think you can almost process of elimination this one, having never seen the show. We're not even going to give people 30 seconds. What's the answer, Retro Nerd Girl?
Twirled around.
She did. Boy, did she ever twirl around. Question 6. Which actor appeared in multiple roles on the show? Was it Gary Berghoff, Radar O'Reilly himself, Ike Eisenman, he of Escape to Witch Mountain, and numerous other Disney kind of shows? He was also in this TV series called Fantastic Voyage. Did you ever see that in the late 70s? Roddy McDowall was on it.
No.
Really good, but only lasted 10 episodes, which is why you never saw it. Lyle Wagner, another choice, or Roy Rogers. So again, which actor appeared in multiple roles on the show? Gary Berghoff, Ike Eisenman, Lyle Wagner, or Roy Rogers. Do you remember the Roy Rogers episode?
Yes.
That was a good one.
He told her to put on clothes.
Yes. All right. Do you want to give this one a guess?
Lyle Wagner?
Correct. We talked about it. He was both Steve Trevor and Steve Trevor Jr.
Yes.
Why did they have to do that? Why couldn't they just keep it in the 40s when they moved to CBS? I don't get it. All right, let's see people's scores. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I just could imagine how awesome it would have been if they had 3 seasons set in the 40s.
Yeah, it really would have been great. I mean, but I get it. CBS wanted to kind of make it its own after it changed over to their network. But yeah, I agree. Yeah. Superplex, 6 for 6. Nicely done. Ken Wilkinson, 5 of 6. Shannon Burns, 6 of 6. Wajamin, 6 of 6. Emily Miller, 6 of 6. These guys are smart. Gary Carpenter, 6 of 6. Thrash Pondo, this is why he came home early. He knew he wanted to be here for Wonder Woman trivia, 6 for 6. Tom Lemery, 6 for 6. Risk, 2 for 6. In the dumper tonight, says Unapologetic Geek, 1 for 3. John Collins is 5 of 6, still only 35 cents, is 0 for 6 tonight. Good grief. Well, I hope you're having fun. That counts as a bonus point just for having fun. Hooray, Music Girl 67 is 6 of 6. Dolph Quick is 6 of 6. Alo Duarte had a couple lucky guesses, but has all 6 so far. Herman Vasquez is 6 of 6. Tim is 5 of 6. Fred Smithberg, 5 of 6. Armand Galanosa, I love that name, is 5 of 6. Emily says she's not smart, just watched a lot of TV. Hey, don't discount it. This is, first off, I know you're smart. I know you're a smart lady, but watching a lot of TV, we learned a lot from watching TV. There's intellect that it really wasn't, I remember my dad calling it the boob tube and saying that I was going to be, not smart because of the amount of television I watched, those kind of threats, but I totally don't believe that. I think we're all smarter for having watched television. 1 for 6. Too. Yes, you get the bonus point there for having fun. Okay. We didn't talk a lot about Kathy Lee Crosby. We did up front. We talked a little bit about the TV movie, but we were focusing on Lynda Carter tonight, Keith. Okay. So we got scores. Let's get through the final 4 questions and get final scores. You're rocking a 6 for 6 yourself right now, Retro Nerd Girl, aren't you? Nicely done. Knock on wood, because I do have a really tough question coming up here. I didn't want anyone to feel too cocky or confident. So I can't remember. It might be this one. How many? Well, I think you're going to get this one. How many seasons did it run for? Don't answer yet. We'll give folks a few seconds to answer. Was it 3, 4, 5, or 6? Again, this is the useless kind of knowledge. It's like almost any TV show I can tell you how many seasons it ran for just because. I don't know why. It's totally useless.
That's pretty handy.
People say Battlestar Galactica ran for 2 seasons, but it did not. Battlestar Galactica ran for 1 season, was canceled by ABC, and then they brought it back as Galactica 1980, but it is not the same show. Please do not insult me by calling Galactica 1980 the 2nd season of Battlestar Galactica. Do you have an answer for us, Retro Nerd Girl?
Yes, 3.
You are on a roll. Nicely done. Question 8. Now here, this might be a tough one for some folks. Which actress did not play Wonder Woman's mother on the show? There were 3 actresses over the course of the 3 seasons that played Wonder Woman's mother And they are your choices are. Let me put the timer up. So this is who did not play Wonder Woman's mom. Queen Hippolyta, I think. Beatrice Straight, Carolyn Jones, Cloris Leachman, or Debbie Reynolds. Who did not play Wonder Woman's mother? Beatrice Straight,
This is a tough one.
Carolyn Jones. Yeah, this might be the one I was thinking might throw some people for a loop. Cloris Leachman or Debbie Reynolds. All right, process of elimination time, Retro Nerd Girl. You want to give it a shot?
I'm thinking Debbie Reynolds because
You
I don't
are-
remember. See,
you are-
I love her, and I would remember her.
Yeah, nicely done. I remember Cloris Leachman and Carolyn Jones. I'm struggling to remember the episodes with Beatrice Straight in it, just because I don't even really remember what Beatrice Straight looks like. But yeah, Debbie Reynolds was never her mom.
Yeah, she was in the later episodes, but Chloe, she killed it in that role.
Mhm. She really did. She really did.
Yeah,
she was awesome.
She started out playing it very funny, with a straight edge, and then by the end of the first episode, she played it completely straight and emotional. I cried.
Yeah, yeah. She's a great actress. She really was, Cloris Leachman.
Oh yeah.
Here's one. Again, not an absolute gimme. What is the name of General Blankenship's? This is a first season question. General Blankenship's secretary. What's her name on the show? Is it Barbara Gordon, Etta Candy, Harriet Taffy, or Martha Ray? Let's put the timer on the screen. Again, the question is, what is the name of General Blankenship's secretary on the show? Barbara Gordon, Etta Candy, Harriet Taffy, or Martha Ray? If it's helpful, I will say this character made it to the first Wonder Woman movie with Gal Gadot.
Okay.
And let me see. I'm going to peek over at the chat and see what folks are saying. Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I know which one it is.
Okay. Which one do you think it is, Retro Nerd Girl?
I think it's Etta Candy.
You are correct.
She was, I remember her from the comic books.
Yep. Another way that first season was much more faithful to the comics. Question 10. Where did Wonder Woman come from? Amazonian Island, Arcadia, Paradise Island, or Utopia? Put the timer on the screen here. Final question. A lot of folks are, this could be a perfect score night for a lot of folks. Where does Wonder Woman come from? Is it Amazonian Island or Amazon Island, Arcadia, Paradise Island, or Utopia? Take the timer off the screen here. What do you think it is, Retro Nerd Girl?
Paradise Island.
Yeah. Was there ever any doubt? Paradise Island. Awesome. So there we go. How'd you do? Let's get some scores, people. I'm going to go ahead and take this off the screen. There we go. And get some scores here. Get to the comments. Let's see how everybody's night was. Let's see. Tim, 7 for 10. Good job. Ken Wilkinson was 8 of 10. Yes, MCB 3116 or 31670 says otherwise known as Themyscira. Or that's what I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but that's what they call it in the movies and what it was, I believe, in the comics. Let's see, 7 for 10 for Zuper. Emily was 9 of 10, 5 of 7 for the unapologetic geek, better known as Tug. Let's see. Dolph Quick was 10 for 10, had a perfect night. Shannon Burns, 9 of 10. Wajamin, 10 of 10. Tim, 6 of 10. Herman Vasquez, 10 of 10. Fred Smithberg, 7 of 10. Media Archive Mike, 7 of 10. Gary Carpenter, 10 of 10. Keith E., 7 out of 10. Look at that. Music Girl 67, first time for a 10 out of 10. Nicely done. Tom Lemery, 10 out of 10. Thrash Pondo did not choke, 10 410. It's your lucky night. You sped home, you didn't get any tickets, and you got 10 for 10. Armand Galanosa, 8 of 10. Still only 35 cents, 1 of 10. The having fun point there. Nicely done. Emily missed the mom question. Darn it. Al Duarte got 7 of 10. Luck kind of ran out at the end. John Collins, 7 of 10. Says, did I know that Leslie Jordan recently passed away? I did. I don't know if I talked about it. I might have talked about it in a chat. I can't remember. Definitely, we've had some tough losses lately. For me, all losses are tough, and everybody has their special actors and people that brought just so much joy to their lives. For me, recently, and Leslie Jordan was someone who I enjoyed watching on screen, as did Robert Clary, for sure, from Hogan's Heroes, and Gallagher, the comedian. They all, sparked joy for me, but no one more than Kevin Conroy, who was the voice of Batman in Batman the Animated Series. That news just hit me like a rock. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't realize that he'd been struggling, battling cancer for a while, and tough news. So we have lost a lot of great folks lately. Thanks for reminding me, John. All right. So great job, everybody, tonight. Fantastic. Retro Nerd Girl, you are incredible. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Let me throw this on the screen, and then if you could just tell folks a little bit about your channel, folks that may have arrived late. But let me throw this on the screen, and you can talk a little bit about what you do, why you are so freaking awesome.
Okay. Well, yeah, if you don't know about my channel, on my channel, I review movies that I love from the silent era to the present day. And I examine them, I dissect them, and most of all, I try to have a lot of fun with them. So definitely come over and visit me on my channel and have some fun remembering some of our favorite movies together.
It's awesome. And folks, seriously, what I need you to do, I'm going to put up in just a second, I'm going to put up a reminder to give this live stream a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. But if you could do me one favor, if you have not checked out Retro Nerd Girl's channel, what I'd prefer that you do to all of that stuff is just head on over there now and take a look at it, see what she does. I think you're really going to like the videos that she puts together. Think of them as similar to some of the videos that I do, but she really does her research, and just they're deep dives. And like I said earlier, there's a lot of love. That's the secret ingredient that goes into her videos.
Thank you so much. That is so sweet of you.
It's been an absolute pleasure talking about Wonder Woman with you here tonight. I'm going to put up just a few more comments. BK on the air was 8 of 10. Good job, BK. Says congratulations. Let's see. The Unapologetic Geek says, is that Millennium? Yes. If you haven't, you've got to get over there and listen to her video. I say listen because that's kind of how I consume a lot of videos, particularly like mine and like hers. Is I'll just put them on and listen to them because that's really where the meat of it is. There's images that go along with it, but you go check it out. It's a great video on the movie Millennium from 89, I think. Was that 89?
Yep, 1989.
Yeah, Emily Miller says she loves your accent.
Thank you.
Thrash Pondo says your channel is amazing, and that's all caps amazing, not just a normal amazing, all caps amazing.
Thank you for your support, Dash. I really appreciate it. You're always saying such nice things about me. Thank you.
All right. I think that's it. I think, what we've gone an hour and a half. I told you an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, and look at this. I misled you. So thank you for sticking around. Truly appreciate you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
To the community, thank you so much. I can't wait, like I said, to go back and rewatch this live stream and just read everybody's comments. You're all wonderful. Thank you so much. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and Wish everybody a remainder of a wonderful evening and the remainder of a great week. Take care, everyone. Thanks again, Retro Nerd Girl.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
You bet.